Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Hannah Season 1, the Rundown Review. So I've already reviewed the first and the second episode. I have some tiny corrections to make. When Hannah was in that facility with Marissa, when she was captured, she wasn't in Pakistan, she was in Morocco. I assumed it might have been Pakistan only because Sophie's parents and Sophie are living in Britain, and they are some type of Indian type descent. And normally people in London who are somewhat of Indian descent are normally Pakistani and everything. And so I didn't know exactly where exactly they was from. But then when I read up on the movie, and because then Sophie and her parents are played by white people, and so they just went to Morocco just for a vacation and stuff. That's why you know the show decided to do that too. But then Sophie in the TV show said, Mom, taking us back to your homeland isn't gonna make our family problems better. So I was kind of confused. I'm just like, where exactly are they at? So yeah. Also, the movie came out in 2011. But yeah, I will be breaking down the entire season one, and I will compare it to that of the movie, because this was never based off a novel or a book, or a novel book, or no video game or no comic book or nothing like that, or an old TV show or an old movie. This is just literally based off a movie that came out in 2011. I gotta give them props, man, because most stuff that comes out in movies, it's not original. It's always based off something else. And what's really interesting is that the person who created the show, David Furr, he was one of the screenwriters for the movie, and he wrote a lot of episodes for season one and season three of Hannah. He didn't do that much writing for season two. That's probably why season two has a bit of a different feel, because the first season has more of an organic coming of age movie feel like that of the movie, whereas the second one, it's more of just this really cool spy chase thriller type thing. And then season three is kind of it's more like season two, but a little bit of season one, but more spy feel instead of the organic coming of age type thing. Hannah, the movie, came out in 2011, and it was screenwritten by David Furr. Now, the movie had mixed to positive reviews. A lot of people really enjoyed it, but for some bizarre reason, they never had a follow-up movie. I guess because of the way the movie ended, it was meant to be like a standalone movie. But they could have made sequel after sequel. I mean, just look at the television show. They had 3 seasons, and it was very well done. Now, the movie is somewhat different than the TV show. There are certain differences here and there. Of course, mainly in the cast. Now, no person from the movie showed up in the TV show, which is quite a shame, I have to say. You know what I'm saying? But there are a little differences, as to who dies, who doesn't, and where the story goes. So by the time you get into the second season, it is now completely different from that of the movie, and it's going in its own direction. I personally love the second season. I loved it a lot more than the first and the third. But there are things that are kind of weird about the second season, like how Hannah learned how to do so much stuff so fast. That's kind of unexplained. And it feels so much different from that of the first. Now, in the movie, Hannah is played by, okay, this is gonna be hard to pronounce her name. So Sua Ronan. But in the TV show, she's played by Esme Creed Mills, which is the daughter of Samantha Morton, who is Alpha in The Walking Dead, and she's also the main lead in Hulu's Harlots. Now, Hannah comes out on Amazon Prime. All 3 seasons are out. Go check it out. It's awesome. Eric is played by Eric Banner in the movie, and in the TV show, he is played by Joel Kinnaman. He's the dude who plays Rick Flag in all the Suicide Live Action Squad movies. Kate Blanchett, she plays Marissa. Marissa, what's her name? Wiegler in the movie. And in the TV show, she is played by Muriel Enzo. Now, Jessica Barden, she plays Sophie in the movie, but in the TV show, she's played by Rianne um, Barrito. I'm not really sure how you pronounce her last name. Now, the shady person that Marissa hires to like track down Hannah is played by two different characters. In the movie, it's Isaac, but in the TV show, it's Jacobs. Now, this is a quick like recap. And Eric, he kidnaps Hannah as a baby and gives her back to her mother. He's a recruiter for the CIA. He works for the CIA, even though he's from like Germany. Hannah is from Romania, and that's where the U-Trax facility was at in Romania. Because like it's like a rogue operation of like the CIA and stuff, where they enhance these little babies with all these like stimulants and like all this other stuff to make them into super soldiers. They can see from a far away distance, they can hear from a far away distance, they can run really fast, they're super strong, they are trained in hand-to-hand combat to take out like assassins and stuff. Or they're assassins trained to take out other people. Basically, in the TV show in the third season, the dude saw like, if we had these girls out in the field, then there would be no like September 11th. So he tries to make like that argument and stuff like that. And basically, it's only girls, it's only teenage girls and stuff that they train to be assassins, because they realize that who would ever suspect a 90-pound teenage girl to be an assassin killer and stuff, because she can blend in with society. And so like he raised her in the woods, I think in Finland, Poland, one of those two, um, for like, for her entire life and stuff till she was like 15. Now, this is where the movie differs and stuff. In the movie, he trains her specifically to kill Marissa and everything. And so, like, one night, she's all like, okay, I'm ready to, like, kill Marissa. So he uses a radio beacon to contact the CIA. Then they split up, and then that's when she gets captured by them. Now, in the TV show, it's totally different. In the TV show, she meets a young boy. She eats a Snickers bar. She hangs out with him, and they trip like a silent alarm at a satellite station. And so, like, that what causes Marissa and them to, like, track after them. And then, so when they split up, next thing you know, Eric's about to be shot, and she prevents it by getting on the walkie-talkie, and then she is captured. From there, she is sent to Morocco. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so they was in Finland in like the movie. But in the TV show, look, I don't know anything about Finland. I don't know anything about that part of the area, but I think they was in Poland, because I remember them always hearing them say like Poland this and Poland that, and he swam from Poland to Berlin. So I don't know where Finland is at. I don't know where Poland is at. I don't know. I ain't from there. I ain't got time to look on no map. And so like, the scene where she's being interrogated is very similar to that of the movie. So it's basically like a fake Marissa is a decoy. She's talking to Hannah in the interrogation room. Hannah hugs her, kills some of the guards, and escape. And so, and this is where it starts to differ a little bit. So in the movie, she spots an RV with Sebastian and Rachel, which is Sophie's parents. And so she flags them down, but then she doesn't really flag them down. Somehow she hides in their like RV camper. And then they take her to Spain. And then she befriends Sophie, and they share like a kiss and stuff like that. Also, like, what is it? So Isaac's been, he's following them, and he fights off Hannah, and then like she escapes some more, and she makes it to Berlin to meet up with Eric. And then so when he's interrogating the family, it's Miles, Sophie's brother, who rats them out and everything. Now, in the TV show, this is where it differs. In the TV show, Sophie is a spoiled brat wild child who walks off from her parents in Morocco. She gets lost in the desert. She meets Hannah, then they flag down her parents. They give her a ride back to like the city and stuff like that. They ask her a bunch of questions about like her family and stuff. They sneak Sophie sneaks her back onto like the car, and then on the cruise ship they head to Spain. They party. Hannah's like learning what it is to be human for the first time. And so like she fights off Jacobs in the airport and his people, and then like Sophie prevents her from killing them. And then so they run away, and then at some point like the family is interrogated and stuff like that, but nobody rats her out. So now we're gonna get into the rest of the season. Now, one problem I do have with this season is that when they are in different countries, they never let you know. They expect you to know because of different accents. But so many accents are hard to like pinpoint that you don't know where exactly they're at. So it would have been nice if they would have some like lettering on like the screen, letting you know where you're at. Also, another problem I'm having is that people pop up in and out of like countries really fast. Like say Eric is in, I don't know, say he's in Germany, right? And then he finds out Hannah is like in England. He's able to get there in the blink of an eye and stuff. And that's how everybody does it. Everybody gets from one country to another in the blink of an eye. And it's like they have like is the plane like that fast or something? So it would be nice if it takes like a while because they took Eric someplace. I don't know exactly where he's at, but he got like interrogated. Once he freed himself, he made it to England like super, super fast and everything. So anyways, another problem I'm having with this season is that even though it is a good season, like it's a good coming of age movie, you can't really think of it so much as a spy. You have to think of it as a coming of age and a spy TV show. But one problem I'm having is that there are certain plots towards the middle end of this season that go completely nowhere. And mostly with Hannah and her, not Hannah, but Sophie and her family. And something in her and Sophie's friend. It's like that plot thread got completely dropped. Another thing that got dropped is that when they get into about season 2, this whole super soldier, super speed, super hearing stuff, like it kind of disappears from the show. Like they can still do things like that, but it's like you don't really see it and you don't hear about it no more. So that's kind of weird and stuff. Also, some differences in like the movie and the show is that Marissa, she's a lot more evil in the movie than she is in the show. She's evil in the show, don't get me wrong. Whew. But in the movie, she does things a little bit differently. In the movie, she kills Hannah's maternal grandmother. And when she finds out Hannah's grandmother doesn't know nothing, so she just straight up kill her and everything. In the TV show, she questions Eric's biological mother and stuff. Also, something that's so confusing is like Sophie's sexuality and her feelings towards Hannah and Hannah's feelings towards them. The reason why it's so so like odd is because in the movie they kiss and stuff like that, but in the TV show, it's hinted that Sophie might be like either like bisexual or something like that, and she's really into Hannah. Like I mean, like she is into her like loving gaze. Like every time she looks at her, she gives her like a loving gaze. And Hannah, not knowing much of anything, she just like reciprocates because it's kind of like Hannah doesn't know anything about sexuality, so she's attracted to like whatever and stuff. But with Sophie, it's like so confusing. And they never truly go there, which I don't know why. I mean, they go there in other shows on Amazon, so I don't know why they just couldn't go there, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? So now by episode 3, Hannah has now been re-educated, if you will, into the ways of human society, and she is loving it. She is loving it to death. She's loving her Snicker bars. She's loving like partying. She's loving kissing on guys. She loves drinking alcohol. She loves being around other people. And it's, but even though she loves doing all that stuff, she is still who she is. She keeps saying that she is different. She is still programmed to be an assassin, 'cause that's what Eric trained her to be. Like, it's weird because like he rescued her so she wouldn't have that life. Like, that's the one thing that's so weird because like yeah, he rescued her so she wouldn't have that life in Utrax. But like he still gave her that life because he wanted her to help him take them down. Because in the movie, he just wants her to kill Marissa and everything. But in the show, it's to take down the entire facility and stuff. And so, like, it's just so weird because he did the complete opposite of what he wanted to do, not wanted to do and stuff. So, like, now that Sophie has kind of like corrupted her and stuff, Hannah is starting to have odds with that of Eric, who is not her biological father, because she found out that he recruits pregnant women and he recruited her mom but fell in love with her. So, like, one thing that really bugs her is that, like, he takes her all around town, and because he has to, like, hide out, right? And he hides out with some of his old army buddies from when he was in Afghanistan and stuff. And these people are very loyal to him and everything. And so they have like little kids of their own, and they're like playing soccer, and and Hannah's just like watching everybody play soccer, and she's learning like the craft, and then she starts playing with them and everything. But she tackles like a grown man thinking she's supposed to, and everybody laughs, and she's kind of like, what did I do? And everything. And like, so one thing that really bugs her is that like when they hide out with these people, they hide out in like an abandoned building with like dirty walls, dirty floors, a place you would never look for a person hiding out. But just kind of weird because it's kind of like this. Okay, look, if all these movies and TV shows like Bond and like all this other stuff have like operatives hiding out in these seedy, dirty places, then wouldn't that be the first place you think they will look in real life? Because that's what they keep portraying in the movies and stuff. But when she's there, she asks him straight up, like, how come we can't stay in a motel and everything? Because that's where Sophie and them stayed at one night when they was on vacation in Spain. And so, like, she knows she shouldn't be in a place like a motel hotel because it's too out in the open and like too many cameras and people, and they will like spot her and like contact like authorities and stuff like that. And so it's like she's being like she's going back on all her training. And so she constantly questions him. Like every time he takes her to this location or meets with this person or leaves her at a location to go do what he's about to do, he doesn't tell her anything. He doesn't tell her where they're going, who they're meeting, like where is he going and why she has to stay with his family. Like Detour is one of the families she has to stay with while he's out doing his stuff to go get like Marissa and stuff. And she gets very, very frustrated with him because he will not tell her nothing. And she wants to go on the mission with him, but he's all like, you're not going. She's all like, well, what was the, like, she demonstrate her skills with a gun. Like she turns around real fast and she shoots all the electrical equipment to make them like explode and have flames and stuff. And it impresses his army buddies. And she's all like, what's the point in training me to do all this stuff if you're not going to use me? And everything. And that's a good question because she keeps saying she's different, she's weird, she's strange, she doesn't like being that way, she wants to be normal like everybody else. And he trained her to do all this stuff, and now he doesn't want her to get in harm's way because he's worried she might get captured for reals this time. So when she constantly gets like left behind being her rebellious now, she doesn't stay put. Like she sneaks off and like she like tries to like find out where he's at and stuff. And so she sneaks around and finds out what Dieter does for like a living. He supplies like other countries with cauliflower, but his operation also has like a smuggling thing where they smuggle immigrants into like other countries and stuff. And so at this point in time, Marissa has now been captured by Eric and his people. They tricked her and they tricked her good. And then so she contacts like Jacobs because Eric needs him out the picture. Eric ends up killing Jacobs just like he does Isaacs in the movie. And so like he's interrogating Marissa and everything, and he told Hannah one thing: never trust Marissa. She lies and everything. He hates her to death. And he tells her straight up, I thought you would have changed, once you had your French boyfriend and he has a son, but I see you're still that same person. Now, she does have a French boyfriend and he has a son. The son does not like her because he feels like she's trying to replace him as the mother. She doesn't necessarily tell him what she does for a living, just that she can't tell him, and she's always going on like these vacation type things for the job. And so, like, their relationship gets very strained when she comes back with all these bruises and on her body, and she won't explain what's going on. And then next thing you know, because she screwed up so bad and got like captured and stuff, and operatives got like shot as a result and murdered and stuff, they have now put somebody else in charge, Jerome Sawyer. And so like he doesn't want her on this mission no more. So she's lost total control of this whole situation. And so like after Eric kills Jacobs and everything, he interrogates her. He wants to know what happened to the rest of the babies at Utrax and the facility and everything. And she tells him one of the most heartbreaking things ever. Like, oh my God. It's something that gives her like a lot of guilt to the point where she won't even have her own child as a result because her boyfriend wants to have a baby with her. And he tells her that. And she's all like, look, I told you I can't do that and everything. But she won't tell him why. And the reason for that is because after Eric smuggled Hannah out of the facility, she was forced and ordered to kill all those babies that was left behind. And they had to put them in the incinerator so they wouldn't find their DNA and stuff. And after that, that UTRAS facility was shut down. So she thinks that UTRAS has been shut down completely this entire time. And so she has a friend in the CIA. I forget his name, but he doesn't know anything about UTRAX, which Jerome mentions it to him, but he has no idea. See, Jerome is now working for UTRAX and everything. So, Marissa, I forget exactly how she escapes. I think Jerome, he comes in with his operatives and they start shooting up the place, right? Now, Hannah at this time, before all this happened, she snuck in and she overheard the interrogation, and she overheard Eric and his army buddies talk about Hannah and that how he is not her biological father and stuff. And so like she gets so upset that she runs home. And before he finished interrogating Marissa and all that other stuff, he tries to talk to her and she just doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't want nothing to do with him. She constantly pushes him away and all this other crap. So in a way, Jerome and his people, they end up saving Marissa. And so after that, she gets demoted and he tells her it's time for you to take a sabbatical and everything because you're off this case. You have to go see a psychiatrist. Marissa doesn't like the idea of seeing a psychiatrist, and she had to see one many years ago after the whole baby incident. And so like she wants back on this thing. She wants to find Hannah. She wants to prove herself and everything. And Jerome's this man is soulless and everything, but he has a family. And so now he's tracking down Hannah and he's tracking down, what's his name? When one thing Eric wanted, he wanted like a plane so him and Hannah can leave. That was a negotiation that he tried to make with like Marissa and her people and stuff. And that Marissa tried to make with her CIA friend. Once Jerome took over, he's all like, we're gonna let this play out. And then we're gonna go in for the kill and everything. So that's when Hannah like pushes him away and talking about like he's not her father and she hates him and all this other stuff, and she completely runs off. But then she starts to hear gunfire and she turns around. And so like Jerome's people are like, shooting like at Eric, and he gets shot a couple of times. And then the army buddies, they rescue him. From this point on, Hannah went back to Dieter's like smuggling operation, and she goes to England along with these other immigrants and stuff. And so like there, of course, she meets up again with Sophie because she has Sophie's number and stuff. So Sophie is now hiding her out in her family's like garage and stuff. The family does not know whatsoever. The family is still at odds with Sophie because they argue every day. Sophie is such a wild child brat. And so, like, at this point in time, Eric is fighting for his life. His wound is getting infected. He's losing a lot of blood. They get like a CD doctor who keeps things on the hush hush, and he tells him straight, "You gotta go to a hospital, man. My hospital, we don't contact cops. We help out migrants and everything." He's like, "No, you gotta treat me here." So he is slowly dying and stuff. And then so being Sophie and everything, she just has to be like a wild child. So when she's babysitting her brother and the parents are away, she goes off with Hannah to meet with her boyfriend. Yeah, she has a boyfriend, even though she made out with all those dudes on her vacation, and she made out with at least two different guys. And so she has this boyfriend named Anton, who she is madly in love with. She thinks he's the most gorgeous man in like the entire world and stuff like that. And so she takes Hannah to like the high school party and stuff. And so while Hannah is there and like, she's partying, she's just getting to the point where she's like, screw everything. She's more rebellious and she just keeps drinking more. She's dancing more. And then she spots a black guy from like afar staring at her, and he's flirting with her as they're like walking and stuff like that, meeting up. So it's like they'll walk behind somebody to block themselves, and they'll peek around the corner and they keep like, stuff like that. This is Anton, the one who's supposed to be Sophie's boyfriend and stuff. And so like, when Hannah finds that out, she's like, crap. And we start to see a little jealousy coming with Sophie. She's like, how do you two know each other? And he's like, we don't, and everything. And so like, while she is there, Hannah is walking around the place because she's just like nosy. And she goes into her room, and it's Dan. He's making out with a dude on the bed. Dan is Sophie's like best friend in the whole wide world. So like, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, if they could make Dan gay and have him make out with a dude naked in bed, then why couldn't they have like Sophie and Hannah just like kiss just like they did in the movie? So who knows, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just so bizarre between those two. And so like, Sophie ends up getting grounded for going to the party. Now, her parents still don't know that Hannah is there. However, you know how social media is. Marissa is still trying to track down Hannah. So the only lead she has is the Sophie girl from Spain and Morocco. So she's looking up Sophie on like social media, and she's looking at all her pictures and stuff like that. And she discovers a party picture, and in the background, like somebody took a picture of like these two random guys at the party, but in the background we see Hannah, and Marissa now knows where she's at. Social media, man, it gets you every time. So Eric is slowly recuperating now that he's healed up from his wounds and everything. But Detour has now sold him out. Why? Because Jerome has showed up at his place playing with his kids and had like a sniper with a laser pointer at one of his kids. So he had no choice but to sell him out. So Eric is captured, and he sees Dieter sold him out. So, Eric is taken to a facility. I don't know where he's at. But it's a boy. Okay, that's my thing. The show has like this blue tint all the time, and he's in like an ice box. So he's in a room that's freezing cold, and they interrogate him by stripping him down to his underwear and splashing cold water already on him while he's already in a cold room. He is freezing to death, but he will not tell them nothing. But he tells Jerome straight up, I used to be like you and everything. I used to work for the CIA. I used to work for U-Trax. He's all like, it's not worth it, man. And you know as well as I do, you screw up, that they will get you and everything. And I see the fear in your eyes and stuff. And that pisses Jerome off. He takes like a cord and he wraps it around his neck. And he wants to know where Hannah is at and talking about like, I'm nothing like you and all this other crap. So now that Sophie has been grounded and everything, her and her family, they still argue. And then while Hannah's hiding out in the car, her dad went there to sleep the night and cry because his dad, her dad, he loves Sophie, but he hates her to death. He hates her personality, her behavior. He wants her to be like a good girl. He wants her to stop smoking weed, stop drinking. He thinks she sleeps around with everybody, but we find out she's actually hasn't. I don't know if she's a virgin, but she hasn't slept with Anton yet. But she kisses every guy she's with and stuff. And so, like, he's tired of her, like, wild, loose ways and everything. And it's causing a rift between his marriage with his wife because the wife is more laid back and she's tired of arguing as well. So he just goes to, like, the car and he just, like, cries and stuff. And Hannah, she tells, like, Sophie that your dad spent the night here, but she doesn't tell him that, like, he cried and everything. Maybe if she did, she would, like, ease up and stuff. So, Anton invited Sophie to like hang out with him and his friends and watch a movie, but she can't go because she's grounded. Hannah decides she's gonna go by herself, and so when Hannah is there, she's just sitting there watching the movie, and it's some type of like zombie horror thing, which she does not like for some reason. And Dan is there. So he's kind of worried she might spill the beans about him being gay, but that's never really brought up. He just kind of looks at her in a weird way, like she's going to do that. And so Anton and her are sitting next to each other, and Dan can kind of spot something's going on, but he don't know exactly what. And so he leaves to go do something. I think he goes like to pee or something like that. And so Hannah stands up for some reason because all this like gun violence in the movie is like triggering her and stuff. And she's standing up, and his friends all like, sit down, we can't see the movie. One of his friends gets a little pushy, takes some popcorn, and throws it at her back. Whew, not a good idea for a program trained assassin. She spins around and she kicks him dead in the face. So Dan is kind of like, what the world? And then Anton's kind of like, what the world? So she runs off and everything. It was like the coolest thing ever. And so like, I think maybe her and Anton kiss. I'm not really sure. But anyways, she doesn't tell Sophie she was at like the party because if she found out, then like, she would be like really upset. So one day Sophie and her parents really got into it and stuff. And she decides like, well, I think Hannah, something happened between her and Hannah. I think Sophie did find out that she was at the party and she was a little jealous. I don't know what, but it was something. Something causes Hannah to want to leave. So she packs up all her stuff and she's about to leave. But then no, Sophie doesn't know yet. So then Sophie comes in, she's all like, I can't take it. Like, I just want to leave. And she's with Dan and she throws Hannah's traveling bag in the car. And she's all like, where you want to go? We'll go anywhere you want to go. And Hannah's all like, I want to go to the forest. That's where she was going to go anyway. So might as well since she has a car. So they camp out at the forest and they grab Anton. Well, this is when things get a little interesting. Then Sophie does find out eventually that Hannah did go to the party and stuff. I think she was in the car ride with like Dan and stuff. And so like she can tell she's getting jealous and everything. But and then so she asked Hannah straight up, why didn't you tell me? And she's all like, because I didn't want to make you upset because you was grounded. And she's all like, well, what did he say? Did he ask about me? And Hannah lies and it's all like, he kept wondering where he was at. Then Sophie, she goes from that, be like, I love this song. And then she just starts like partying and rocking out and they all start singing this like song and stuff. The girl has like she well, I tell you, like if she was to see like a flickering light, that would distract her and stuff. Needless to say, Sophie parties hard when they're in the forest. Too hard. She is plastered drunk. So much that she goes back into the car and she's bent over and passes out and falls asleep. And Dan is there with her, and Dan's like searching around the car and for some bizarre reason, and he finds the paper that Hannah has. It's a paper that Hannah showed Sophie at one point, asking her what does DNA mean, and it says father unknown, and and all this other stuff, and it's like weird like U-track stuff, right? And so Hannah and Anton, they're like hanging out with each other and stuff, and Anton kisses her, and she kisses him back. Then next thing you know, they rip off their clothes and they're about to do it. But he's all like, "Oh, wait, wait," and she's all like, "Well, what is that?" It's a condom. So they do it off screen, and I will say this: this is one of those times. Like one thing I have a problem with nowadays is like any show you watch now, and especially streaming, everything looks like soft porn or like hardcore porn, and it's like sometimes it's unnecessary. This is probably one of those times it should have been necessary because Hannah doesn't know nothing. So when she kissed that one dude at the party in Spain, it was so awkward, and you could see how awkward it was. So it would have been like an interesting moment to see this. But then again, she is a 15-year-old girl on the show. She's an adult in real life, but so that part you don't want to see. But if she was older, then yeah, it would have made sense. Which doesn't make no sense because when she's in about season 3, they say she's been missing from the facility for 20 years. It can't be if she's 15 and stuff. So anyways, they do it and they're there all night and they're just like cuddling and stuff like that. And Dan doesn't know. Sophie really doesn't know. And then so when she wakes up in the morning, she wakes up before him and she just takes off like jogging and everything. And because that's what she's trained to do in the morning, she just takes off jogging. And then she sees like a rabbit. And then somebody sees her jogging. It's either Anton or it's Dan. And so one part they don't see is that when she sees like a rabbit, and then so she's looking at the rabbit in her like intense look, and then she's pretending like she has a bow and arrow in her hand. This is a nod to the movie, and I'll get to that part a little bit later. It's also the picture, like the DVD of the movie. So she's pretending like she has a bow and arrow, but then she ends up killing like the rabbit in a way, because that's what they had that one night. And so like on the drive back, when they drop Anton off, Sophie wants to talk to him, and she's all like, I'm sorry, that was my one chance. Or she tells Hannah like she blew her one chance of like doing it with him, because she got so plastered drunk. So then when she drops Anton off at his place, she tells him like, I'm so sorry, it should have been like our time, and I just get so happy when I'm around you, and I get so crazy, and I start getting drunk, and all this other stuff, and he's acting like he wants nothing to do with her and stuff, and she can kind of see it, and she's all like, she just doesn't know why he's acting that way. He's all like, I forgot something in the front of the car. That's where Hannah's sitting at, the passenger seat. So she's like, okay, well, am I like allowed to stay here on your porch? Is your mom gonna get mad? Like, she can tell this is a very awkward situation. So he goes back to the car and he talks to Hannah, and Hannah's all like, I don't want nothing to do with you. You're Sophie's guy, and it was a mistake, and all this other stuff. And he's all like, look, I don't like Sophie no more. I really like you and everything. She says, Sophie's just so wild and all this stuff. And Hannah's like, no. And then so I think he tries to hold her hand and talk to her, and she gets pissed, and she twists it really hard to where it almost breaks. Sophie runs over, and she's all like, what the world's going on? Blah, 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 and stuff like that. And he's all like, it's nothing and everything. And Hannah just like stares and doesn't say nothing. Sophie now knows something is up. The car ride back was very silent and everything. And then because Dan's driving, so when he gets there, he leaves and goes inside the house. She's like, no, Dan, I need you to stay here. He's like, no, I don't want no part of this. So, yeah, it's about to get dicey up in here. You can feel the tension through the screen and stuff. So, Sophie asks her straight up, like, what the world's going on? And Hannah tells her, like, he came on to me. And she's like, what did y'all do? And she's like, did you do him and everything? And Hannah's just like, it just happened. Boy, Sophie goes nuclear and everything. She starts shouting at Hannah. Hannah, for the first time in her life, is actually scared. And she like flinches and stuff. And Sophie's like go crazy. And she's all like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. She tells her, she tells her, my body does these strange things and I can't control them. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, I can understand you can't control like, the combat stuff and the training stuff, but having sex with a girl's boyfriend, and it's messed up because that's her friend and she knows Sophie really likes that dude and stuff. So it's just so messed up. And so um yeah, it's just like it's really messed up and everything. Cause Sophie's just like, I don't want to talk to you no more. I trusted you. You betrayed me. Blah 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 blah. And get out my house. I don't want you here. And she's all like, I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you. And she's like, no, you can't stay here with me and everything. Now this is what's so messed up. Sophie cheats on her boyfriend, but then she gets mad when he cheats on her. That's like so double standard, man. Like I don't understand people like that. You can't be mad if somebody cheats on you when you clearly cheats on them and everything. So like Hannah leaves and everything. And when Sophie goes back to her house, she's like pissed. She tells her parents, because her parents didn't know she left for the night. And she's like, I don't care what you do, ground me for the rest of my life, blah, blah, blah. And then Marissa is there. She's all, and she's like, this is Hannah's mother. And so Sophie's kind of like weirded out because Hannah told her entire family that her mother died and stuff. And so she's like, Marissa's trying to like smooth the crap out of like Sophie talking about like, Hannah's my daughter and I love her so much. And, and it's like when you have a child, you'll understand what this is. And and she's at the point where she's almost in tears and stuff. And she's all like, do you know where she's at? And this is when Marissa starts to get kind of angry a little bit. She's all like, if you know something, you need to tell me and everything. And everything. So Hannah spots Miles, I don't know what his name is in the show, but it's Miles in the movie. And she spots him and he tells her, where are you going? You really are here and everything. And like, your mother's looking for you. Hannah's all like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, your mom's in the house and everything. So Hannah takes his phone and runs off. And she runs as far as she can away from the house to contact Sophie through text. And so by this point, the brother comes in the house and he spills the beans that, he saw Hannah. And this is when no, he doesn't spill the beans. He just comes in and he's all like, why is everybody like shouting at each other? Because Sophie and her dad really got into it and everything, to the point where she kept pushing her dad to like, you need to hit me, punch me as hard as you can. And like, I think she said something about let me know you feel something or something like that. And it's just like, he doesn't do it. He just wishes that, he doesn't like have her in his life. And so like, she goes to her room all upset. And then the brother comes in, wants to know why everybody's shouting. And then Marissa's all like, tells the brother like, have you seen Hannah and everything? And the dad's all like, and the boy doesn't say nothing. And then so like, the dad's all like, do not interrogate my son, blah, blah. Like he doesn't know nothing and you need to leave. This is a family matter and stuff. And Marissa's not leaving. She's all like, if you know something, you need to tell me right now. So Hannah, before she can contact Sophie, now this was really weird. God, does this happen before or after? I can't remember if this happens before or after, but I think it's after because what's his name's not there yet. So anyway, she contacts Sophie on the text, and we see Sophie answering the text and stuff. And Hannah tells her that the woman in the house is very dangerous, tell her nothing, and blah, blah, stuff like that. Well, then Hannah starts getting more texts about where she's at and where to meet her at, and so Sophie arranges to meet her someplace. When Hannah goes there, it is Marissa. And Marissa's all like, don't run, don't do nothing, because if you do, that family will get hurt. And she's all like, this is over, you come back with me, and that is that. And she's all like, where's Eric? And she's all like, he's dead, got shot, blah, blah, stuff like that. And so, like, Hannah decides to give up, and she goes with Marissa. They're at a hotel and everything, and this is what's really strange. When Hannah is asleep, Marissa takes a picture of her sleeping, which is bizarre, you know? Anyways, with Eric, Sawyer leaves at some point, and there's two guards there, and he tells them to kill Eric, and they're all like, oh man, nothing personal. One guard leaves. As soon as they walk up to him with the gun, this is what's really stupid. Why didn't he shoot him from a far away distance? Why you gonna walk up to somebody and shoot them? But anyway, as soon as he does that, boy, Eric whooped out some skills. He grabs that gun, he breaks that dude's arm, the other guard comes in, he's using the guard as a shield, the one guard gets shot, he goes after the other guard, puts him on the ground, puts the gun to his head, and he wants to know where Sawyer's at. So Sawyer's headed to England and everything. So after that, we see the guard completely stripped naked, his brains have been splattered out, and we see Eric dressed as him with his laptop, and he's looking through all the information on U-Tracks. And it turns out there's another facility that got restarted back in Romania. And so, like, he sees all these teenage girls that are like agents and stuff. And so they focus on two girls' pictures. And these two girls are Cara and Sandy from the other seasons. Then we start to see this U-Tracks facility and the doctor that is there. Dr. Roland Novak or something like that. He's the one in charge of the place, and he's the one who does all the experiments on the girls and give them the supplements and everything like that. And we see the girls in training, intense training. They're only known by number. They don't have a no. They won't give them their name. Cara is 249, and Sandy is 242. And so, like, it's this, like, they're constantly jogging, they're doing this, they're doing hand-to-hand combat, they're doing psych evaluations, they are, like, doing breathing tests, like, you name it. However, Cara, she's a little bit defiant and everything. We see her more than anybody else. She's very intense. These girls are like robots, zombies and stuff. And Cara ends up becoming late to like one of their sessions and stuff. It's like really interesting how these girls do a great job looking like zombie robots, man. They are programmed. And so, like, this is the part that got me a little, I didn't know it happened first or not. Dan comes back. Now Dan, he had what is it? Some point in time, before Marissa, okay, so Marissa, right at the hotel, before they finna leave and, like, you know, go back to U-Tracks, she decides she's gonna let Hannah just say goodbye to Sophie's family and stuff, you know? So it would be kind of like normal. So anyway, at some point in time, Dan, remember I said he stole Hannah's paper? The dude looked up the U-Tracks thing on the internet and found the location, but it's blacking out on like the map site. And so how is this dude able to find this facility on like the internet? And it's supposed to be hush hush. And not only that, but nobody, this is the part that doesn't make no sense because they leave this part like a plot hole. So like, he tells Sophie all this. He's all like, I looked this place up on the map and every place else is green, but there's like a place that's blacking out and that's the place where the U-Tracks place was supposed to be. And he's all like, who is this Hannah girl and what is she involved in? Some type of like government conspiracy type thing. This plot line goes absolutely nowhere. And then so when Hannah says goodbye to like the family and stuff, she gives it to like Hannah and tells her that, you know, what's his name, looked it up on the internet and blah 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 and like all this other stuff. And so like she says her goodbye to like Sophie, and Sophie, you know, doesn't want her to leave, but she has to, she has no choice. And then so when they drive off, we see Sophie in the background just staring at the car in the street. And this is the last we see of Sophie and her family. They're never mentioned again in no other season. It's just like boom, done. And it's just like it's kind of like, I get why they're there because of the movie, but it's just kind of like you think at some point she would have like met back up with her, or there'd been some mention of her or something in another season, but there never is. And so like, so that plot line where he looks it up on the internet and how the government never traced him down is just completely left in the air. And so it's like, yeah. So at the hotel place, Hannah is like eating at the buffet and it's all you can eat. And Marissa's being very nice to her and everything. And it's all like, so Hannah tries to get some cereal out the little dispenser, but she doesn't know how. She opens up the lid and tries to scoop it out. And the dude has to show her how to do it. So as she's about to sit down, she hears a whisper. She hears Eric's voice talking about like he's here. Now he's in a completely different location in the place, but she can hear miles away, remember? And he literally just whispers to her and she can hear it. So she goes to Marissa and she's all like, how did Eric die? And everything. She's all like, he was shot point blank with a gun. She's like, did you do it? He's like, no, but I ordered my people to do it. She's all like, really? And stuff. So she knows Eric is alive and now everything's forgiven between them two. And so they go to the elevator and and then they go to, when they get on a different floor, a man walks in, a very tall man. It's Eric. Marissa's just kind of like shocked. And he's all like, hi, dear. Like, I'm so glad I met up with you two. And he tells the people in the elevator, this is my family and everything. And he shows Marissa that he has a gun in his coat pocket. And he puts his arm around her and everything. And Hannah just has kind of like a half smile on her face, like a smirk. And Marissa's kind of like, dude, I'm so screwed. Because, see, this is the thing. Marissa contacted Sawyer and told him straight up, I have Hannah. This is the deal I'm going to make with you. I want my old job back. I want no psych evaluations. I want nobody looking into my past. You leave, like, my boyfriend alone, which he sent somebody to the boyfriend's place, which pisses her off. And everything. And, she's all like, and all this other stuff. And so he agrees, you know what I'm saying? And so now she knows she's screwed. So when I get to the one floor towards like the first, like, some more people come in. That's when him and Hannah leave. They leave Marissa inside. And so after that, they run for it and everything. Well, Sawyer's on his way there. And Sawyer cracks me up. So one of the person, like one of the bellhop people, he's all like, can I help you, sir? And Sawyer with a stone cold look on his face, are like, I doubt it. So he has all the exits blocked off and the roof. And so Eric and Hannah, they're trying their best to find a way to escape. So they go to like a seminar room and they go there and she listens and it's about conquering your fear. And then Hannah's all like, my fear is fear of dying and everything. And so like he sets a fire in the trash bin and it sets off the alarms and all the other stuff. And that's how they're gonna make their escape. So they duck out, they grab people's jackets and they put it over them and they blend in with everybody as Marissa and Sawyer and the people are all looking for them. Once they get outside, they see the helicopter they came in. They take care of the pilot and then they fight some of the guards in the lobby and everything. Eric is still wounded, by the way. How this man is still alive, I have no idea. They get on the helicopter, they fly off. Hannah's taking out guards left and right from the helicopter, but then she points the gun at Marissa, but doesn't fire for some reason, and Marissa doesn't fire either. So they escape. At this point in time, Eric tells Hannah, it's time for you to have a normal life. I got some other stuff I need to do. He takes her to his mom's place. While he's there, he gets all her guns and they leave. Hannah finds out more about like his family. His mother betrays him. See, Marissa went to her early in the season and said, if you ever hear from him, to give her a call. And the mom just like straight up, because the mom doesn't know all the stuff that he's done. She just thinks he's bad because what Marissa said. So of course that's how Marissa finds out. She goes there, but she doesn't kill her like in like the grandmother in the movie. So anyway, Eric takes her away and he's all like, I've been kind of like lying to you. I know who your real father is. He's in Romania. He has a new family. You have a brother and a sister. He has a new wife. I'm gonna take you there. He does take her there, and she meets them, and he leaves her there, and he tells the Hannah's real father, this is your daughter now, and we talked about this, and I'm gonna leave. So Hannah wants to ask her real dad, where is Eric? Because she saw him take the guns and leave him in the hotel, so she knows something's up. The dad's all like, look, you can't be with him no more, this and that. Hannah does something unexpected. She punches the crap out of her father and beats him up, and then she takes his car and drive off. She doesn't want nothing to do with her real father, which is weird because originally she wanted to know who her father was and everything, and who she was and everything. And so, like, that's the last we see of him. He's never mentioned again. She never goes back to him. So that's another plot thread that just like left in the air. And so she goes and she finds Eric and everything, and he tells her the facility um, in Romania, the Utrecht thing that got restarted up. So they're gonna go there to rescue all the girls. Marissa talks to Sawyer on the phones, all like, I want my job back. He's all like, well, you didn't hand over the girl, so the deal is off. And she's all like, he tells her just live your normal life with like your boyfriend and this and that. And so like, what is it? She tells him there's something you're not telling me about the whole Utrax thing. And because he's not telling her that it got restarted back up. She has no idea. And so like, at some point when she is home with her boyfriend, like I said, he sent people to spy on her. So when she found out where Hannah was, like in England, that's when she left. It got contacted with him. He's now in a car with her and some guards, and he tells her like something happens because she goes to Eric's. Oh no, I remember. Eric mom called her, so she left, and the guards contacted Sawyer, and they let him know that Marissa has left. He's pissed because they're supposed to keep an eye on her and stuff, and so was the counsel therapist lady, and so like when they meet up with her at the mom's place, they go to send her back home. She knows something's up. So they take her into the woods and they're like, this is where the helicopter's at. She knows something's really up there. Boy, we get to see Marissa go into action. And it's her. It's not a stunt woman. And this woman's about like in her 40s or something. And boy, it was awesome. Because she took a knife from Eric's mom's place. Because that's where the guards found her and stuff. And whoo, she takes that knife and she's slashing, she's gashing, she's stabbing, she's kicking, she's tumbling on the ground, she's whooping all kinds of butt. So now we get to see just how tough this woman really is. Because the thing about her is she is a strong woman character, but she's not a modern day strong woman character. She doesn't berate men. She berates everybody if you get on her nerves, but she treats people with respect until you don't treat her with respect. And she will shoot you point blank, and she will stab and slash and gash you and stuff. She's very confident, and she knows what she wants. And she walks in her little pantsuits with her high heels to let you know she is a boss. So at some point in time, she finds Sawyer and she takes him hostage and everything. And he tells her straight up, Utrax has been restarted and like all this other stuff. And so like, he escapes from her captivity when they're in the car. They're in a car like driving or something like that, and they get into like a huge like crash. And then so like they're both incapacitated, but then we see her waking up, and the car has like a rag in the gas pipe thing, and it's on fire. So she runs out. He's nowhere to be seen. He makes it to civilization. He calls his people, and he heads to the Utrax facility. Now, his contact is a woman who's in charge. We never see this woman's face. We only hear her voice. I don't know what happened to the main boss woman, but she got replaced in the third season by Ray, the Ray character and stuff. Ray Lamano, whatever his name is, the Gordon character. So, what's his name? Sawyer makes it to Utrax first. He tells like the scientist dude, he's no longer in charge. He's in charge. The scientist dude's all like, you can't keep them locked in their room for too long. They need to be supervised because they will act erratic and everything. And you can see them act erratic. Their hands are shaking. They're punching at their fists. They're they're cracking their knuckles and stuff. They're acting very agitated and stuff. And so, like, Kara, she can see that the guards are scrambling and taking all the weapons. She contacts Sandy through the wall, but Sandy is like gun ho about everything. She will not break orders no matter what. She's all like, we are not supposed to talk. We are supposed to sit on our beds. We are supposed to look forward. We are supposed to stay away from the windows. We are supposed to do this and blah, blah. So Kara goes back to the window and stuff. So anyway, Hannah and her dad, Hannah and Eric, they like break in. Oh, I forgot to mention. At some point in time, before Hannah and Eric meet back up, 'cause they get separated again. Remember when he left her at her dad's place? Marissa finds him at a hotel. And this is how Marissa took a hold of Sawyer and captured him and stuff. So, Marissa, she went at the hotel that Eric went to. And she's talking to him on the phone and everything. Marissa says something very odd. She says that they made Hanna. And he's just kind of like, what are you talking about? She's all like, Hannah's mother might have given birth to her, but me and you, we made her into the person that she is. She's talking metaphorically and everything, which gets kind of confusing because you don't know what the world she's talking about. And it's kind of like, what did him and her make the baby and then put the, and then was the mother the surrogate? No, because the mother was already pregnant before she ever met any of them. So that's why she kept the picture of Hannah sleeping, because she thinks of Hannah as like her mother and stuff. And so Marissa's kind of like losing it and stuff. And so at the hotel, she talks to Eric and they say they're going to have a truce until they see the guards. And then he thinks she betrayed him. She shoots him in the arm. He flees and then he meets Hannah later on at the hotel and they flee. And then that's when she takes Sawyer like hostage and stuff. So anyway, Hannah and Eric, they're in the facility. They're the place has been is completely like, you know, the people there making sure nobody knows anything. They're gonna burn the place down. They destroyed the computers and all this other stuff. They're trying to contact the girls. The girls will not speak to them, but Kara speaks to them. And she's all like, why will you speak to me and nobody else will? She's all like, because I'm different. And Hannah's all like, I'm different too. And so like they eventually get Kara out of there, and then all the doors, because they unlocked all the doors to the main computer before the computer got trashed and everything. The scientist dude, he's been taken away by the Utrax people. I don't know if we see him in second season or not. I can't remember. But then all the guards are like there and they're fighting Hannah and Eric, and it's cool hand-to-hand combat stuff. They're like whooping butt like everywhere. These guards cannot stand a chance against these two. And so like so then the girls come out their rooms and then so like they just come out, but they look like zombies. They look like robot zombies, if that makes sense. And like they're not saying anything, they're just staring there with blank stares on their faces, not knowing what to do because they haven't been told what to do, and they're not allowed to do anything until somebody tells them what like to do. And so like they asked her straight up, what is wrong with them? Why are they acting this way? Hannah asked. She's all like, because they've been told not to like have contact with people and all of this and that. So then the intercom come talking about all the girls supposed to make it outside to get into like the RVs and stuff. And if you see anybody trying to stop you, kill them. So one girl tries to like literally kill like Hannah and Eric, and then Kara shoots her dead blank. And then all the girls start walking towards them, and Kara's all like, they're gonna attack us, get ready. But then the girls don't. They just walk out the door for some bizarre reason. And so, like, they kind of betrayed orders because, you know, Hannah and them, they were supposed to stop them, but didn't. So, they make their way outside and there's some more guards. So they fight their way through, they set off some bombs. And then Eric, he's finally succumbing to his injuries and stuff. So he collapses and he's slowly dying because he still has that infected wound from like a couple of like weeks ago. Because yeah, when she was in England, she was there for a couple of weeks. So anyway, um, Sawyer comes in and Marissa, she shoots Sawyer. So Hannah's kind of surprised and she's all like, y'all need to like escape and blah, 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 stuff like that. So they take Eric away and Marissa, this place is now being burnt because the guards incinerated the whole thing. So Marissa contacts that boss lady on the phone we don't get to see and tells her straight up Sawyer's been dead. Eric killed them, wounded, y'all need to come. And she shoots herself in the thigh and stuff. And I asked for her boyfriend. He calls her and asks her what's going on, all this other stuff. She just hangs up on him. So that's all over with now. Um, Hannah, Cara, and Eric, they make their way to where Hannah's mother is buried and stuff. Because he said, he isn't going to make it and he wants to be taken there and buried there. So they bury him there and stuff. And so like Cara asks her like what's next, and then they're in like a wheat field and they're just like walking. And Cara's like, this is so beautiful because she's never seen nothing like this, and it's just like a wheat field with trees and the sky, and they hold hands for some weird reason, and they just walk off into the wheat field and like it ends. And I'm just like, man, this was just like an intense thing. And it's all through the perspective of like this one girl. Now in the movie it's different towards the end. In the movie, Marissa shoots and kills Eric. And then she shoots like Hannah in the back, but Hannah ends up shooting her with a bow and arrow and stuff and kills Marissa. So like yeah, so it's like it's very similar to that of like the movie, but there are like differences like here and there. Also, one other difference is how Hannah finds out. She finds out by overhearing Eric say that he's not her biological father when she spies on him. But they go to like an amusement theme park type thing, or a carnival type thing, and there she meets a magician who's supposed to be like Eric's friend and everything, and that's where they hide out, and then that's how she finds out when she overhears that he's not her biological father and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm so glad they left that out the TV show. But I love the TV show. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't really know. I've seen clips, and the clips are very similar to that what I saw in the movie, and I just don't on the TV show, and I didn't prefer the movie. I prefer the TV show so much more. And so, like, and I remember when this ended, I'm thinking to myself, man, what's going to happen in season 2? And all this other stuff. And I was just like so curious. And it sucked that Eric died, man. He was such a great character. Joel did an amazing job. I don't know what he's like in the Suicide Squad. I know he's going through some personal mess, I think, with a woman that might be like a Me Too situation. I don't know what the world's going on with that. But this dude should really play like spies and be like in a James Bond movie, like a villain, not James Bond. He should play like a villain and stuff. If his Me Too thing isn't that bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was a really good show. It was a coming of age spy thriller. Like, how often do you see something like that? Cause it could have tanked the show with the whole coming of age thing, but it kind of helped it in a certain way. And, it was a nice contrast with the whole Sophie family dynamic. It turned into like a weird family drama and stuff where some things just didn't go no place. Like, it was so weird when those plot threads just like disappeared from the rest of the series. And, but other than that, it was kind of like a nice change of pace and everything. But I can see why a lot of people didn't like that in the TV show. And that's probably why they didn't turn in for the second season. But yeah, the second season and third season are like so great because it's just a straight up spy thriller and stuff after that. And Esme does an amazing job in the rest of the series, man. Like the things that she does and all the different identities she has to go through and like all the training and stuff. Like she did an amazing job, man. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.